Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of Flip Flops Donuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate who specializes in waterfront and waterview properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on boat banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will find essential information from inside scoops on buying and selling houses to how to live with the ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about fishing fever. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full time, getting to know about what is biting inshore and offshore along the Crystal Coast and Morehead City in June is a story worth telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel now or at the end of this episode. In late spring, early summer, days are getting warmer and the Crystal Coast fishing season is getting just as heated. Most of the charter boats are fishing every day when the weather is agreeable, and the captains are usually right on the location of the fish. This past week, a fleet of 266 boats entered the 64th annual Big Rock Blue Marlin fishing tournament. Mercenaria, a 72-foot Viking from Cherrystone, Virginia, reeled in a 572-pound blue marlin on Monday, and that was the biggest of the 8 blue marlin brought in all week. Mercenaria was entered in all levels of the competition and won a record $3.48 million in prize money. That includes the Level 5 Fabulous Fisherman's Prize of $777,000 that they won on Monday. The boat is only the third ever $1 million winner in tournament history. The field this year was competing for a record $5.85 million in purse. Tournament officials believe the $3.48 million payday is the highest for any blue marlin competition worldwide. The 572-pounder reeled in by angler Matthew Brown with Captain Neil Sykes at the wheel was big enough to win 5 of the last 10 competitions. But the fishing team wasn't even sure the catch would clear the tournament's minimum standards of 400 pounds or 110 inches in length when the fish was initially hooked. However, once the fish was at the side of the boat, its championship size was apparent. The second place blue marlin of the week was caught on the wall hanger. The Brian Allen captained boat won $426,000 for the 556-pound catch reeled in by Stacy Allen. High Yield finished in third place and won with a 536-pound blue marlin, and it was worth $283,000. That fish was reeled in by angler Bernard Linney with Captain Paul Weissman at the wheel. Releases were strong all week, with this year's competition raking in well over 200 to shatter the tournament record of 180 set in 2020. Newcomers to this $5.85 million billfish tournament might imagine a gigantic rock sticking out of the ocean somewhere offshore. But that's not the case. In reality, there is no big rock. What there is a hard-bottom stretch of water approximately 35 miles southeast of Morehead City, in a sweet spot where warm Gulf Stream waters and colder coastal waters meet along the coastal shelf. Anglers in the 64th annual Big Rock Marlin tournament were looking for spots on the west end of the break, where the ocean goes from a gentle slope to a steep incline. That's where they'll find the Big Rock, a fishing hotspot with water depths ranging from 150 to 500 feet deep. It is the result of the Gulf Stream current cutting deep into the ocean floor as it veers away from the coastline and moves further northeast into the Atlantic Ocean. The location where anglers can find a once-in-a-lifetime trophy fish like a blue marlin covers an area about 8 to 10 miles long by a mile in width. This coastal shelf serves as a haven for small reef fish, the type that attract the larger fish that blue marlin feast on. The topography of the Big Rock is unique, and it is conveniently located for anglers to reel in a trophy billfin. Typically, the Pacific and Atlantic varieties of blue marlin are found in warm equatorial waters. They are not usually found closer to land unless there is a deep drop of 500 to 1,000 fathoms, like they find at the Big Rock off Morehead City. The flurry of fishing excitement experienced by anglers along the Crystal Coast in the spring and early summer is not limited to blue marlin tournaments. Cobia have been sighted routinely, and this year's cobia bite has been very good after a couple of sparse years. Cobia have been good-sized too, with some fish in the 60 to nearly 80-pound class. Cobia is an unusual fish, half shark-like with its single dorsal fin and half catfish-like with its wide, flat head. Cobia have distinctive dark brown bands and white horizontal bands and a white underbelly. Cobia are great fighters and really tasty too. Cobia tastes mild and has a firm, broad-flaked flesh that's white when cooked up and pinkish when raw. The mild flavor is often described as fresh, clean, and buttery. Cobia can grow to nearly 80 inches in length and over 150 pounds in a 10 to 15-year lifespan. Because cobia are such prized table fare, and because of their fast growth, cobia are amenable to aquaculture, growing to marketable size in under 2 years. Additionally, some decent-sized shrimp are being caught from the shore, and even the finger mullets have already reached a size big enough to not get gilled in a 3/8-inch mesh cast net. This is a few weeks earlier than usual, which is normally around the 4th of July. Red drum are also being hooked in the Swansboro area, in the marshes, and in the White Oak River. Massive numbers of Spanish mackerel and bluefish also will be hanging around inlets like Bogue and Ocracoke, and they will be reachable with near-shore boats, making this an ideal time for scheduling a family charter. Offshore, anglers can expect to catch yellowfin tuna, blackfin tuna, wahoo, gaffer, and Baylor mahi, sailfish, white marlin, and blue marlin. To learn more about Carolina fishing, subscribe to my newsletter by texting your email address to 919-308-2292, or sign up for my blog on my website, www.eihomesforsale.com. And please subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube at the end of this video. Stay well and stay safe. So come on down. Please subscribe to my channel below, and definitely return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.